There's a simple device that repels every single biting insect within a 20-foot radius, and it uses no batteries whatsoever. No chemicals and no electricity from any outlet or any generator. It costs you less than $2 to build from very basic parts. And the whole entire thing runs on nothing but dirt and moisture. Two very different metals buried in the ground linked by one wire. The voltage comes directly from the damp earth itself right now. Mosquitoes vanish completely and all the flies retreat from camp. Gnats scatter all around like they hit a wall they simply cannot see. A French physicist first documented this in 1749. A Scottish clockmaker built the first device in 1841. By the 1920s, entire European farms ran pest-free, using nothing but some copper wire and zinc buried in damp soil. Then the chemical industry arrived to town carrying a spray can and spent the next 100 years making sure you never knew. They did not abandon it because the whole technique had failed. They abandoned it because it simply worked far too well for them. A $2 technique running on dirt cannot fill a bottle. And what cannot be bottled and branded cannot be sold again. What cannot be sold every season cannot generate their revenue. $5.5 billion a year in global sales gone. This is the full story of the Forgotten Earth battery for camps, and why the global insect repellent industry buried it from you. Welcome to Forbidden Camping. Right now, please subscribe, hit bell. This is where we always dig up what the outdoor industry buried. Now let me open this particular vault for the very first time. Paris in 1747, inside a stone laboratory in France. Abbé Nollet serves as court physicist to the King of France. He fills two identical pewter vessels with the very same earth. He sows equal quantities of mustard seeds in both of the vessels. Then he exposes one single vessel to electricity 10 hours a day. Same soil, same seeds, same exact temperature, and the same sunlight. The only single difference is electricity flowing into soil. Within 3 days, the electrified seeds had already sprouted. The control seeds had not even cracked open their shells yet. By a week, one electrified plants were taller roots, much deeper. But something else happened that gets ignored for centuries. 270 full years of silence, to be precise. The insects in the laboratory avoided the charged vessel now. Small flies clustered around the uncharged control pot only. Nollet published his findings in 1749, and it faded. A century later, in Edinburgh, Scotland, 1841 now. Clockmaker Alexander Bain buries a copper plate and a zinc plate, 1 meter apart in damp soil, then connects them with a wire. He measures roughly 1 volt coming from absolutely nothing. No battery acid and no external generator, just wet dirt only. Moisture in the soil acts as the electrolyte for ion travel. He calls it the Earth battery, and it powers a clock for months. But what happens around the buried battery matters even more. Earthworms cluster between the plates and biting flies leave. 3 years later, landowner Robert Forster installs the system. Across his barley fields near the town of Elgin in Scotland. Published results in the British Cultivator March 45. The pest damage dropped to almost zero. No aphids, no beetles. No flies swarming at dusk like an invisible perimeter stood. Edward Solly Fellow of the Royal Society calls it remarkable. The establishment agrees on paper, then does absolutely nothing. In the 1920s, Justin Christoflo builds antennas, 25-foot posts with copper zinc wire spirals on top. Oats grew over 7 feet tall with zero fertilizer applied. He stated the current destroys all insects attacking plants. His fields were completely free of pests without any chemical. 1912, the International Conference proves it works. Then World War I destroys the farmland of northern France. After the war, synthetic pesticides arrive to generate profit. DDT and organophosphates chemicals sold every single season. The Earth battery then became a forgotten footnote nobody reads. But the actual real science behind it never stopped being true. This video is just the very surface of what has been hidden. I collected everything inside the Forbidden Outdoor Vault now. Fire techniques that are now classified as far too dangerous, shelters that easily outperform $200 camping tents, DIY water filters, and natural, ancient repellent techniques inside. Earth battery blueprints with detailed step-by-step diagrams too. Over 10 guides, one place the link is in the description now. But stay right here because the video is just getting started. A 2015 University of Heidelberg study tested copper against Aedes aegypti, Culex pipiens, and Ochlorotatus species. 100% larval mortality within just 14 days. Every single larva dead, and the cost was 2 euro cents only. A standard can of DT spray costs $12, lasts hours. Global insect repellent market, $5.57 billion. DT was developed by the U.S. Army back in 1946 for jungle warfare, not for weekend family camping at a lake. Regulators say it is safe, but side effects are well documented. Seizures, agitation, and skin irritation with excessive usage. DT dissolves plastics on contact, and yet we spray it on our skin. Copper, at less than 1 part per million, still kills all larvae. 4 times below the WHO safe drinking water limit for copper. You could literally drink the water that kills the mosquitoes. If you have made it this far, you already know more about insect defense than 99% of campers. Subscribe and share with someone who needs to remember what they made us forget. Everything the industry buried is in the vault. Link in the description. Now stay with me. This is the heaviest part. So why does no one teach this? Why is the Earth battery not in every camping handbook? The insect repellent industry generates $5.57 billion every year. SC Johnson, Reckitt Benckiser, Godrej, Spectrum Brands, multinationals with distribution in over 100 countries. Their entire model depends on repeat purchase. You buy a can, it lasts hours, you buy another every trip. Every summer, $5.5 billion a year. Now consider the Earth battery. $2 of copper and zinc wire, buried once, works for months. Rain recharges it, the Earth provides voltage, no reapplication, no refill, no return to the store. You cannot patent 2 metals in dirt, you cannot brand the Earth, you cannot create a subscription for soil voltage. The Earth battery does not just repel insects, it repels profit. And that is why you never heard of it. 82% of repellent sales in 2024 were synthetic chemical products. Even the natural alternatives are designed to run out. Citronella candles that burn out, essential oils that evaporate, wristbands that lose potency in a day. The Earth battery is the only method that does not run out, does not need replacing, and costs nothing after the first $5. That is why it was buried. Not because it fails, because it works too well, costs too little, and lasts too long. 1749, Nollet proves it. 1841, Bain builds it. 1845, Forster documents, pest-free fields. 1912, the International Conference presents the evidence. Then the chemical industry arrives. DDT is deployed in World War II. DT is developed in 1946 and commercialized in 1957. And within a single generation, 270 years of science is replaced by a spray can. They did not disprove the Earth battery, they just made you forget it existed. Now here is what to do. You need 3 things, all under $5 at any hardware store. 14-gauge bare copper wire, 14-gauge galvanized zinc-coated steel wire, and a wooden stake or bamboo about 3 feet long. Step 1. Take 3 feet of copper wire and wrap it in a loose spiral around the stake, starting at the bottom, going up. Northern hemisphere wind clockwise, southern hemisphere counterclockwise. This aligns with the Earth's magnetic field. Step 2. Take 3 feet of galvanized wire and wrap it the same way. Both metals must contact the soil when planted. Step 3. Push the stake into the ground at least 6 inches deep. The soil must be damp. Moisture is the electrolyte that makes the battery work. Dry soil means no voltage. If the ground is dry, pour water around the base. Step 4. Make 3 stakes and place them in a triangle around your camp. 1 near the tent, 1 near cooking, 1 near the fire. Each covers about 225 square feet. 3 in a triangle protect your entire site. Step 5. For standing water near camp, drop bare copper wire directly into puddles or containers. Based on the Heidelberg research, this produces 100% mosquito larval mortality in 14 days. Total cost, less than $5, no batteries, no chemicals, works while you sleep. A camper in Ontario placed 3 stakes in a triangle and reported the mosquitoes that had been unbearable simply stopped coming, like they hit a wall 15 feet out. Compare that to $12 of DEET spray lasting hours. Dissolving your rain jacket, leaving chemical film on your skin, or a citronella candle at $8 that only works if you sit downwind. The Earth battery costs $5 once and lasts the entire season. Now, I need to be honest, this science is debated. Copper killing mosquito larvae in water is proven beyond doubt in multiple peer-reviewed studies across multiple countries. Copper repelling slugs and snails is well documented. The Crop Protection Journal showed 80% barrier efficacy. The electrochemical reaction between copper and zinc producing voltage is basic chemistry. Where debate exists is whether atmospheric antennas repel flying insects at distance. The historical evidence is extensive, but predates modern controls. The question is not whether these metals do something real. They do. The question is why no one funds the full research. You cannot get a grant to study something that costs $2 and cannot be patented. The absence of research is not evidence it does not work. It is evidence no one profits from proving it does. This knowledge did not die, it was waiting. In 1749, Nollet watched insects flee electrified soil. In 1841, Bain powered a clock with dirt and 2 metals. In 1845, Forster documented pest-free fields in Scotland. In 1912, scientists across Europe presented overwhelming evidence. Then, a $5 billion industry spent the next century making sure you never heard about any of it until now. The Earth did not forget. The voltage is still there in every patch of damp ground on the planet. The copper still works, the zinc still reacts, the soil still conducts. Every campsite you will ever sleep in is sitting on top of the only insect repellent that never runs out. 2 metals, wet dirt, 1 wire, no chemicals, no cost, no permission needed. If this video opened the vault for you, subscribe and share. Every share preserves what the industry tried to erase. The next vault opens soon, and what is inside is even heavier.